right now on 5 on your side at 10.
He's taking control in Jeff City. Now the governor-elect wants control of St. Louis police.
I think state control is appropriate for that police department.
Tonight, the chief sounds off.
It's something that I don't think is necessary.
Weekend water woes. Rain chances return for part of the weekend as some spend this weekend cleaning up the mess. The weather impact any additional rain will have on flooding.
Our top story, rising river. Tonight, one community's battle and the warning for some to get out.
Please evacuate for your own safety.
A massive sandbagging effort is now underway in parts of Pacific. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Tonight, city officials are urging people who live and work near the Merrimack River to evacuate now. Robert Townsend reports from Pacific, where major flooding is expected there by the weekend.
Right now, the Merrimack River is calm and picturesque as it flows through Pacific. But on Friday, forecasters predict the river will rise to a dangerous 27 feet and send rushing floodwaters south of downtown.
It's very serious. I'm a little nervous.
You bet. Mayor Heather Philly, dozens of neighbors and business owners in line of the anticipated floods are all nervous.
It really is the heart and soul of where our town was founded that is going to take the most impact. About
7,400 people currently live in Pacific. City officials are asking everyone near the floodplain to heed this warning by 6 a.m. Thursday.
The message to the folks is, please evacuate for your own safety.
The folks here say it's not a matter of if the floodwaters will come rushing through here, but when. And that's why they're now doing everything they can to prepare for it. House Springs mom Jessie Dawkins and her son helped volunteers fill free sandbags and load them up for people.
The community consists of neighbors, and we want to be neighbors helping neighbors.
The city is going to turn off their water and everything, so they have to evacuate.
The Tri-County Community Senior Center will be open to evacuees.
People in the community need a place to go. They won't be able to go to work. The schools are going to be called off.
And yet, there's hope.
Their houses will be okay.
Mother Nature has a change of heart.
So I'm hoping for the best.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And as Robert mentioned, if needed, the Tri-County Community Senior Center will be open around the clock for evacuees starting tomorrow at 8 a.m. Evacuees can also go to Mission Community Church tomorrow through Saturday. The rising Merrimack River is also causing issues at a busy interchange about 16 miles east along I-44. Overnight, MoDOT will close 141 under the interstate where floodwaters are expected to take over. And it will remain closed through the weekend. Signs are in place to detour drivers.
And tonight, floodwaters have brought traffic to a standstill along a stretch of I-44 between St. Roberts and Rolla. Cars and trucks are still parked along the highway tonight. Traffic is not expected to reopen until tomorrow at the earliest. The Big Piney River in Pulaski County has also flooded homes and businesses. Governor Mike Parson has declared a state of emergency because of these life-threatening floods.
Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking the rising river levels tonight, Scott.
And it's, again, the smaller rivers that we've been concerned about, that they're more flashy, if you will. They get the water, it races in, they do big jumps, and then they drop off. Not the main stem rivers, not the Missouri, not the Mississippi, and all because of this rainfall. This takes us back to the 2nd of November up to about the 6th, and we had 10 to maybe 12 inches or more of rainfall, down 44. So here are the river the information we have as of now. And I don't have current levels in here for Eureka and Valley Park. They're still coming up, but we know that Pacific is now in that moderate category. That's red. But Sullivan and Steelville upriver have already crested. Good news here for Pacific. They've lowered that number just a few inches, but a few inches can matter. We've also lowered the number here in Eureka as well as Valley Park, just by a little bit, and that includes Fenton too. These are some of the estimates here. As we look out towards Pacific, it's really south and east of the railroad tracks there. We get into the Eureka area. The good news here in Eureka, yeah, you get water in the athletic fields there around Eureka High School, but 109 stays open. Under 141 there, under 44, yeah, you're going to have some problems. And it's mostly parkland here along the Fenton area. The other areas we've been watching, Burnsville, Union, those numbers coming down, crested already now. The Big River at Burnsville. We'll talk about this weekend's rain in a few minutes.
And you're seeing firsthand first responders rescuing a man from a tree after severe flooding near the Big River. The river rose dramatically over the last few days from the rain, prompting multiple water rescues in Jefferson County over the last 36 hours. The Big River crested today and is forecast to drop significantly over the next few days. Tonight, we know the identities of 2 people found dead yesterday after flash flooding along Gravois Creek.
Now, neighbors in South St. Louis County are demanding answers. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is in the newsroom to explain why.
Well, Mike and Kelly, authorities found both bodies within just a couple miles of each other. A 63-year-old woman from Afton and a 41-year-old man from Hillsboro. Tonight, disbelief from those who knew them and questions over how this could happen.
Tuesday's flash flooding following record rainfall all across our area. Water rushing into creeks, flooding homes.
I did not expect to wake up and that'd be my last day in this house for God knows how long, if at all.
And leaving roads underwater. When the floodwaters started to recede, a witness tells us he saw Nancy Parasoto's car in the creek and called police. That's when authorities found her body. We've learned there were temporary barriers up here at Bayless Avenue and I-55, but no guardrail around the bridge, blocking people from driving into water.
They should have had more concrete barriers around there, especially since they already had taken part of the bridge down.
Just a few hours later, authorities would find Kenneth Ludwig dead, also in the Gravois Creek. This photo from a GoFundMe of Ludwig and his wife as friends fundraise to support his widow and their 4 children. This loss has devastated their family, the organizers said. On social media, heartfelt condolences from those who knew them. He was a good friend of mine at school. I just saw him at Schnucks. He will be missed. Another person writing, I worked with Nancy and she was a good friend. Sweetest lady you'd ever meet. She always watched my dogs when we were out of town. She loved animals so much. I'm so sorry this happened to you.
Raises concerns because we don't know what's going on there. People are now dead there. It's crazy.
County officials tell us contractors removed half of the Bayless Avenue bridge before the flood. But people want to know why there were no barriers near that creek. We're going to keep asking questions. Stay with 5 on your side as we work to get you answers.
While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Just hours ago, Vice President Kamala Harris addressed an emotional crowd of supporters hours after former President Donald Trump was declared the president-elect. Tonight, Mr. Trump's electoral vote count has grown with pickups of Michigan and Alaska. 2 remaining swing states, Nevada and Arizona, have yet to be called. He also leads the popular vote by nearly 5 million votes. While addressing his supporters early this morning, the 45th, soon-to-be 47th president promised to help heal the country.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body.
President Joe Biden is expected to address the nation tomorrow. He released a statement praising his VP, calling her, quote, the best decision he made. He also spoke with President-elect Trump and invited him to the White House.
Tonight, supporters are declaring victory in the push to legalize sports gambling in Missouri. Based on 5 on your side's projections, Amendment 2 will narrowly win with just a little more than 50% of the vote. This means the Show Me State now has until December 1st of 2025 to implement sports betting at casinos. However, one expert says you could be placing bets even sooner.
That process takes about 6 to 9 months to get that across the finish line, A, and then B, the other big thing you look at is the sports books themselves. They want to go live before September 1st and the start of football season. That is the most lucrative time of the year. That's where most of their money comes in. So they're going to try to make sure that they're live there before kickoff.
The results are within the margins of a recount. If one is requested, the requesting party must pay for it.
Tonight, Missouri's Planned Parenthood is fighting to make abortion more accessible now that voters overturned the state's abortion ban last night. The group filed a lawsuit to stop the enforcement of some abortion restrictions. That includes multiple outright abortion bans, laws, and criminal penalties targeting providers. Planned Parenthood is urging the courts to move quickly so it can open its doors by December.
Less than 24 hours after becoming Missouri's governor-elect, Mike Keogh announced one of his top priorities is crime.
That includes regaining state control of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Tonight, Laura Barczewski talked with Chief Robert Tracy in an exclusive interview for his reaction. Laura.
Mike and Kelly, the governor-elect has a vested interest in St. Louis. He's the first governor from our city in about a century, but Chief Tracy has taken a very public stance opposing state control of the department and says change takes time.
Governor-elect Mike Keogh says he and his team have been working on a crime plan for Missouri since he's been on the campaign trail, singling out his hometown.
You know, I've been, very vocal, especially in St. Louis. I think state control is appropriate for that police department. I've talked to Mayor Jones this morning, and she violently disagrees. I wouldn't say violently. She very much disagrees.
The state of Missouri controlled the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department for more than 150 years until voters returned control to the city in 2013. Connor Kerrigan with Mayor Tashara Jones' office says state control doesn't work.
If the point of state takeover is to make cities safer, that's not what it does. You can tell because in 2023, after the state took over the Kansas City Police Department, they saw one of their highest murder rates ever in recorded history, while St. Louis saw a 10-year low.
Even though Keogh says Police Chief Robert Tracy and Circuit Attorney Gabe Gore are doing a good job, he sees a disconnect between city government and business developers.
And they're concerned about spending capital in downtown and additional redevelopment without the crime situation improving.
Chief Tracy says state control is unnecessary, pointing to the latest numbers.
We're trending about 17 less homicides than last year, which was a 10-year low. So the officers are getting the job done. We have about a 17% reduction in crime from last year, and it was a reduction from years past.
Both the St. Louis Police Officers Association and the Ethical Society of Police supported state control because of concerns over recruitment, pay, and morale. Chief Tracy says they heard those concerns and are working on them.
The mayor last year gave an historic raise to our police officers and to the supervisors, and it's almost up to almost $12,000. We're getting officers into the profession, but we've had close to 25 officers that had left the police department, the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and went to other jurisdictions that I've sworn back in the last year.
And he fears state control would undo any progress they made.
And you know what gets hurt by that? The people that we're trying to keep safe, the communities.
Chief Tracy and Mayor Jones say they're going to do whatever it takes to keep local control of the department. Reporting live downtown, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Fears in Fredericktown, charged by a battery plant explosion.
Are lithium-ion batteries dangerous?
Tonight, the I-Team getting answers for residents worried about wildlife and their own safety.
We will feel the repercussions of this for years to come.
We're tracking the rain chances for this upcoming weekend from this weather system out west. The weather impacts it may bring to your weekend plans and why we don't think it's a weekend washout.
1 week after a massive fire at that lithium-ion battery recycling plant, some Fredericktown residents are still concerned about the fallout. In the days following the fire, thousands of dead fish washed up in nearby waterways.
And tonight, the I-Team's Paula Bassan digs into what happened, how the facility is responding, and whether enough is being done to protect the community.
Fredericktown is reeling from the fallout of a massive fire at a lithium-ion battery recycling plant, and the community wants answers.
It was more than obvious that the fumes were very toxic.
Matthew Marabona saw the smoke heading straight to his parents' house. Days after the fire, he ventured to nearby Village Creek and the Little St. Francis River. What he found was chilling. Dead fish, thousands of them, floating to the surface.
It's almost sickening in a way because I grew up in these rivers. I grew up fishing and swimming in these streams. I am very concerned, mostly for the residents and the impact on the wildlife.
The Missouri Department of Natural Resources, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and other agencies are investigating if firefighting foam used to control the blaze could be partly to blame. It's known to deplete oxygen in water. Marabona wants tighter regulations.
It absolutely needs a change, because no matter what, we will feel the repercussions of this for years to come.
The stakes are high as demand for lithium-ion batteries surges, powering everything from cell phones to electric vehicles.
Are lithium-ion batteries dangerous?
Inherently dangerous by their very nature.
Attorney Al Watkins represents Critical Mineral Recovery. He says the company's strong safety protocols kept this fire from becoming a much larger disaster.
No one was injured, no hospitalization for respiratory issues.
The I-Team found that fires involving lithium-ion batteries are far from isolated. In June, a battery plant explosion in South Korea killed about 22 people. And similar incidents have erupted across the U.S., from San Diego to St. Louis. Over a recent 5-year period, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission issued recalls on around 5 million consumer products, largely due to lithium-ion battery safety concerns.
They've been in the building around the clock.
Kevin Jones with the Fredericktown Fire Department says even 1 week later, firefighters are still hard at work.
They do have some heavy machinery there today to remove some of the collapsed portion of the building to access some of the trapped areas of fire. But we're definitely making progress.
For Marabona, the impact of lithium-ion batteries and technology's unintended consequences has hit home.
It is the responsibility of even the town and the specific counties and wherever these places will be to lay these rules down, to instate these safety features.
I'm confident in the Department of Natural Resources' ability to get to the bottom of that and try to get everyone some answers.
Officials on site at the battery recycling plant have yet to determine what caused the fish kill. Right now, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources is testing surface water samples. The EPA is monitoring air quality. As lithium battery use and its dangers rise, many are questioning if enough is being done to hold companies accountable and protect communities. For the I-Team, Paula Vassan, 5 on your side.
Let's check back in with Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with the weather impact forecast. Finally, a dry day after that record rainfall.
Rain for 2 days.
It would have been nice to have a little more sunshine today than we did have, but at this point, the clouds have been trying to break up, especially south of St. Louis. You can see that the camera's really picking it up tonight, looking into downtown St. Louis. Back to the west of St. Louis and to the north of St. Louis, really more towards the north. That's where we're seeing a bit more of that low-level cloud cover. It doesn't show up really well in our traditional satellite pictures, so right there, St. Louis, I've circled us. There are the low clouds just to the north. If you're up in Lincoln County, all of Calhoun County into Jersey County, you got these low clouds. Also along Interstate 57, they're kind of just flirting with the area right now. Off to the southwest, we've cleared out, and you see Sullivan's down to 45. 46 in DeSoto with a mainly clear sky. But Alton's still 52. Smartfield still has the clouds, 52. Those temperatures vary depending on whether you have a deck of clouds overhead. Lambert's cleared off right now at 52. 61 was a high. That's all we could do today, but at least we were dry. We should be in the same territory tomorrow for highs. But yes, some clouds will linger tonight, especially north and perhaps east of St. Louis, where we do have some clearing and where it stays clear for a little while, potentially some patches of fog developing. Now, tomorrow we think we're off to a pretty quiet start. The winds are fairly light, but the wind chills will be around 40, temperatures in the 40s tomorrow in St. Louis. So kind of keep that in mind. Your need for tomorrow morning will be, of course, a little bit of a jacket, light wrap, although the kids will lose it once they get to school. Here's your big upper level system out west, producing snow from around Denver down towards Pueblo and then down towards Albuquerque. It's a pretty energetic system. It's going to push our way, and in doing so, it's going to increase our cloud cover as we head into Friday night and Saturday. We should be dry through the day on Friday. All the actions out to our west. As we go into Saturday, scattered showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. They try to push towards St. Louis towards the midday hours and into the afternoon. How much of this gets in here? Well, it's still a question. Looks like much of the morning could end up being on the dry side for St. Louis. That would bode really well for the Veterans Day parade in downtown St. Louis. And then by Sunday morning, it's scooting out. So Sunday looks like it'll be on the dry side. And we're not talking about copious amounts of rain here. Maybe a quarter to a half an inch for most of us. If you get under one of those heavier cells here and there might be a spot or two that gets upwards of an inch. Most areas not, and that will have very little, if any, impact on the water that's in the streams now. Main stem rivers can handle this drainage. It's the smaller ones that we've been having problems with. All these temperatures that you see out of the next 7 days, each and every one of them are above average for this time of year. And we're back around 70 to start the beginning of next week. It does look like Monday and Tuesday will be dry. So we got to deal with some rain on Saturday, not a complete washout for sure. And then Sunday looks like the pick day of the weekend, middle of next week, maybe some more active weather.
Okay, Scott, thanks. Well, Corey is here with sports.
Well, one of the Cardinals' star players is changing positions. Dylan Holloway talks about his scary moment with the Blues last night. We have playoff soccer tonight in St. Louis. That's coming up next in sports.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Telly Tire and Auto Centers, driving your way since 1942.
The thing is you don't know how to play first base. Scott? That's right. It's not that hard, Scott. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
Now, I'm not calling John Mozeliak Brad Pitt by any means, but there's at least a chance that scene from Moneyball played out in some similar fashion with the Cards' president of baseball ops and their now former starting catcher, Wilson Contreras. It's time for Wilson to learn first base. Mozeliak made the announcement today at the GM meetings in San Antonio. Mo said Contreras was open to the idea of moving from behind the plate to a role as a first baseman in DH. Without Paul Goldschmidt in the fold, there is an opening to be filled at first. As they say in Moneyball, though, learning first base can be incredibly hard. Here's a look at the games Contreras has played by position in his career. Just 11 appearances at first base so far. He'll have an offseason to figure it out for a 2025 Cardinals team that could look quite different from the one we just saw at Busch Stadium. Thankfully, this scene last night on the Blues bench had a happy ending. For a while, we weren't quite sure what exactly happened to Dylan Holloway at Enterprise Center. We got some clarity today from the man himself. With a little over a minute left in the first period, Holloway blocked a shot with his upper torso, hitting his vagus nerve. He reached for an instant, but then played on, breaking out as part of a 2-on-1. It was when he went to the bench that the trouble happened. Holloway was taken to the hospital by stretcher, but all is good and he could actually play tomorrow night. What a hockey guy. Holloway explained what he was told about the experience.
They said it's a pretty normal response. The way it was compared to me is, I don't know if you ever watch UFC, but sometimes a guy will get like into a chokehold and get choked out in like 2 seconds. And I don't know, you kind of wonder why, like can you not just hold his breath? But it's not about holding your breath, it's just that nerve, like you get hit in the nerve, then you just go out.
It's postseason time for SLU women's soccer. The Billikens have been one of our most impressive teams in town over the past few years and have their sights set on a deep run in the NCAA tournament. Tonight they hosted St. Joseph's in the A10 tourney semifinal. The Billikens have only lost 1 game so far this whole season, but now it's the postseason where the moments count the most. First half, ball goes off a Billiken player but ends up right at the feet of Julia Simon. She buries it, 1-0 SLU. Now in the second half, it's the goal-scoring machine herself. Emily Gaby pokes it home. SLU up 2-0. That would be the final. The Bills will play UMass for the A10 title on Sunday. Brian Baroni's SIUE Cougars on the road tonight at number 17, Indiana. That's a big-time test. Nice to see Collinsville native Rayshawn Taylor on the big stage. That 3 tied things at 27. And then check out this crazy off-balance 3 that also goes. Taylor had a team-high 17. Cougars tried to hang around late. Darian Baker, nice athletic finish at the rim. But it was too tall of an ask tonight for SIUE. Indiana wins 80-61. Hey, it's a good time to be a Lafayette Lancer. Pretty much every fall sport is making a deep playoff run. And for the softball team, well, they already have their state title, and it came in dramatic fashion. Riley Mulligan's walk-off home run in extras gave the Lancers their 9th softball state championship on Saturday. Also in the game, Abby Carr threw a no-hitter for Lafayette. It's a game that everyone who was a part of it will remember forever.
The whole thing about Lafayette culture is, honestly, it comes down to the people. We have the most amazing people here. The coaches and the girls, we're all here for the right reasons. And the reason why we were able to accomplish what we did this season was because we all believed in one another and we all had faith.
A huge moment. Like, that hasn't happened in 17 years. 9th program title. Like, that's so big. And to do it with these girls was even better.
Gosh, they were so excited when I
Yeah,
went out
what
there
a way
today.
to win.
It was like 4 days ago, but it seemed like it just happened.
Good for them.
Corey, thanks.
Well, holiday shopping can break your budget. We all know that. And the deal's just minutes away that can actually put money back in your pocket. You can shop until you drop while getting more bang for your buck. Cashback Day kicks off in about 90 minutes. Hundreds of retailers are helping you kickstart your holiday shopping over the next 3 days with rewards and cashback offers. And we have more info in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com.
And starting tomorrow morning, you can get a little more jingle with your morning jolt. Starbucks is rolling out this year's holiday cups. The coffee chain is hoping the festive cups add some cheer to its bottom line. following a third straight quarter of slumping sales and declining customer visits, which would be a surprise to Kelly Jackson, who's there every day.
I try to support local shops.
Yes.
Let's get a final check of our forecast.
You support a lot of coffee shops.
Yeah, I need some hot coffee tomorrow morning.
Yes, you will. It'll be chilly. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Yes, the Merrimack River is still cresting here through tomorrow into tomorrow night. The crest will happen Friday in Pacific and work its way through Eureka and Valley Park and Fenton. But the numbers have come down just a hair. That's a good trend to have. And we've already seen the crest make its way through Sullivan and Steelville.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.